Channels for everything from country and pop to rock and hip hop, plus sports talk and news, and even more available for free online and on the app. Just press the Sat button in your car and listen free to SiriusXM through December 1st.
There's no place like home for the holidays, or HomeDepot.com for holiday decor, with Black Friday prices inside and out, like artificial Christmas trees starting at just $39.98, or outside lights and playful inflatables to bring joy to the neighborhood. Order online, and you'll even get free delivery. Holiday decorating improved with a wide assortment of holiday decor from HomeDepot.com. How doers get more done. Free standard shipping on most online orders over $45. Some exclusions apply while supplies last.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Yeah. All my life, been grinding all my life.
ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in and listening to us either on the radio, online, or via social media. Darren Smith, I am back live from Las Vegas. Just got back a few hours ago. Joining me, as always, is the vacationing Mr. Sterling Holmes down on his island in Florida. Sterling, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Darren.
And, of course, on Victory Monday here on the show, we are joined by A10 Sports Director, Mr. Todd Leabo. Mr. Lebonics, how are you doing today?
Oh, couldn't be better. Chiefs got to win. The defense was stout.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
but the Chiefs got to win.
I was going to say, I don't know what game you saw.
The Chiefs got to win, which is the important part. They got to win. They survived. Another really nice performance from the Raiders. If the playoffs started today, the Chiefs would play the Raiders. I don't know about you guys. I'd rather not. How about that? I'd just rather not.
I can't believe I am saying this. I would rather have the Kansas City Chiefs play the Ravens. I don't know, going into the season, I would say, you know what, I would rather have Kansas City play the Ravens than the Raiders, but that's, I think, where we're at.
Now, I know that I'm at my house. Leabo is on his way home, and somehow he's got a chance to look at my notes because I was going to talk about the Chiefs-Raiders possibly facing off in a rubber match in January. Of course, the Chiefs-Raiders rivalry is back, and it's liver than ever. Thousands of Kansas City fans flew to Las Vegas, took over Las Vegas, took pictures in front of the stadium yesterday, did victory lap. I did a victory lap in an Uber ride going back to the hotel after the game last night. Kansas City, Chiefs, Raiders, everything is back as it was. The Raiders were 31 to 35 losers to Kansas City on last night on their home field. If you get a chance to go to Las Vegas, even fly over it, and you get a chance to go by, take a look at the stadium, you've got to. It is everything that you've seen and more, whether you go online, look at video footage or what you see on the football games. It is truly a sight to behold. So I really can't tell you, Leabo, whether or not SoFi or Allegiant, which stadium is going to be better when we do get a chance to go back inside them, but I'm excited about both. Again, the Chiefs moved to 9-1 with their 35-31 victory over the Raiders. The Raiders fall to 6-4. Chiefs are still number 2 in the AFC playoff race. They're half a game behind. Well, yeah, they're half a game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still undefeated, 10-0. The Raiders fall from 5 down to number 7. So again, as you mentioned before, if they were to face in the playoffs today, the Chiefs Raiders would be coming back to Arrowhead to face off in the rubber match, where of course the Raiders would probably be favored in that matchup against Kansas City, since they did beat them at home the last time these two teams played, and the Raiders have actually outscored Kansas City 71-67 total. Leabo, with the game and how it went last night, what were your overall thoughts? And trust me, we will talk about the defense.
Well, that's the thing that stuck out to me was the defense just didn't show any improvement. Derek Carr, I think, they breathed on him once last night. I think Chris Jones passed by him and maybe coughed at him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Frank Clark didn't get anywhere near Derek Carr last night, and that was disappointing. Now, I guess the good part was I didn't think I thought there was a stretch of the game at Arrowhead where the Raiders physically dominated the Chiefs with the running game. Even though Josh Jacobs didn't have some crazy yardage number, I thought they controlled the clock better. This was a little different feel. So I guess that part was a little bit better. But I loved what I saw from the Chiefs offense again. I think they mixed it up a little bit better. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was involved a little bit more. And Mahomes was very good again. Once again, without his full complement, Sammy Watkins was a scratch, did not play. McCole Hardman was active, but really wasn't on the field with the offense. He found a way to get it done with Byron Pringle and Demarcus Robinson, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. And I don't think there was anyone anywhere who was telling the truth to themselves who thought when the Chiefs got the ball back with a minute 40 whatever to go and timeouts in hand that they were not going to at least get into field goal range. And most people probably thought the Chiefs were going to score a touchdown. I mean, even the craziest Raider fan has to understand what's in front of them when Mahomes and that Chiefs offense got the ball. The easiest drive they had all night was that last drive. And that's not supposed to be that way. So that's the important part. You got Mahomes. It's what Andy said after the game. He said, I got Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, well, that's a big gap. You got him and the talent around him. You got something better than everyone else. And Derek Carr after the game said, yeah, I believe in my defense. Nah, don't lie to us. I mean, I guess, yes, do lie to us because that's what you have to do. So the defense hears that out there and they go, yes, D. Carr believes in us. But listen, it's not so much you didn't believe in the Raiders defense. You just have to believe in Patrick Mahomes because he's the truth.
Leabo, the only thing, the only thing I would say about that is the fact that when you Yeah,
I'm right here. Let me tell you this. The thing that surprised me was how everyone on defense looks terrible except for Charvarius Ward. Why was game on the line, or could have been game on the line if the Chiefs don't come down and score? Why is TK dropping back into coverage against Jason Witten? It was fine coverage, but why is game on the line? That's what you're going to draw up and go to. You get zero pressure on Derek Carr all night. He has more time than I've ever seen. Demarcus Robinson was dropping balls, had a poor game. Patrick Mahomes and the connection with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce was unbelievable, and that was so good. That was the whole reason why they won this game. I don't know how Travis Kelce gets that wide open to win the game, but Travis Kelce is far and away the best tight end in football. Anyone who says George Kittle's in the same stratosphere right now is lying to themselves. This, in my mind, also cemented Patrick Mahomes not only as the front runner, but the clear number one as far as the MVP race is concerned right now.
Well, I don't think you're going to get any argument about George Kittle because he can't stay healthy. Sorry about that. I got knocked off unintentionally. But Leabo, going back to your point though, because I know you talked about Patrick and his play. That if you are a Raiders fan, the one thing that you had a positive outlook as it relates to that last drive is that Patrick did turn the ball over on that last drive going into the half, and to me, look. I felt a certain kind of way because the Chiefs didn't score at the end of the first half because they kind of messed with the spread for me. But there was an opportunity for them. I think but I think that the method in which Patrick and the offense was clicking as they methodically were going down the field kind of worked against the Raiders because they did the same thing right before the half and the Raiders were able to come up with an interception. So they had an outside shot of keeping Kansas City out of the end zone. Obviously, worst case scenario was you get a tie. But the one thing that I've known about Kansas City that I don't like overtimes when it comes to Kansas City because if you don't win the coin toss, then of course then you're at the behest of your defense. And we've seen just how well this defense has played, which is not well at all.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why it's kind of important to get that touchdown. Just take everything else out, take the point toss out of it, take everything out of it, just go score the touchdown. And as you told Patrick last night, he didn't cover the spread for you, Darren, when he was explaining the interception to Demarcus Robinson. They just weren't on the same page, and that's what we see from he and Travis Kelce. They're like connected in the mind, right? It's very seldom you see him throw a ball and Kelce's going the other way. And on that one, listen, it was the bang-bang play. Demarcus Robinson is reading the guy who he feels like is on his outside. Patrick's looking at him. He thinks he's supposed to do one thing. That's quicker. you guys know the longest play of the night last night for the Chiefs was the touchdown, 22 yards? This was not a game where they were taking it deep and getting these big shots. The Raiders were trying their best to take those things away, and they did. So this was a little more like paper cuts, right, on down the field. It wasn't like they had a machete out chopping someone's hand off or something like that. They were just irritating them all the way down the field. But the last drive of the game was a little less paper cutting. They were a little more like not 8 yards and 6 yards. It was like, here's 12 or here's 14. And then finally, scoring from 22 yards out, they hadn't done that all night long. So it ended up being, listen, it's not perfect because you want the defense to play better, right? Frank Clark went 4 weeks without a sack and finally got to Teddy Bridgewater. And you thought, hey, maybe they're going to turn the corner a little bit here. Chris Jones had in on a few tackles, had one unassisted tackle, I think, had a couple of offside penalties, which were big deals. And Frank Clark didn't register anything anywhere, I don't think. I don't think he had a pressure. I don't think he had a tackle. And that is concerning. So maybe that's just more about the matchup, right? Maybe it's just a bad matchup for the Chiefs. Maybe their line against the Raiders line is just not going to be a great matchup. If that's the case, that's fine. I'd rather not have the Chiefs play the Raiders again. But they got to find some way to get to Derek Carr, because we know this. If you get to Derek Carr, he will make a mistake for you. Yeah. He will put the ball on the ground or he will throw a pick.
Sterling, go ahead.
But Leabo, it's so concerning. You're paying Frank Clark $20+ million a year. You're paying Chris Jones $20+ million a year. Honey Badger's third most paid on defense. He had a very poor game. I am extremely concerned. Juan Thornhill played 11 snaps and now was post-game said he was relegated to situational appearances. Yeah, I am very concerned about the defense right now because I don't want a repeat of 2018 when you got the top-ranked offense and the worst-ranked defense. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous.
It did take the Raiders more than 3 plays to go down the field. Go back and watch the 2018. It didn't take but 45 seconds to score a touchdown. It's not that bad, but these last couple of games have not been good.
It's funny. Now, I got to say once again, I don't know if you all are still in my notes or whatever, but I'm looking at my notes right now, and I got Chiefs defense, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu. My big question is, we've seen the lack of their names being called out. Of course, Frank Clark did have 1 tackle last night. I can't remember who it was on or when it happened, but he did register 1 tackle. But, but that was a lot of the talk via social media last night was what was going on with this defense. Obviously, we talked to Steve Spagnuolo this week leading up to it. They had the bye week, so, they had a chance to rest and get things together. And knowing that this was the only team to put an L on your in a loss column for you, we were trying to figure out, and even Steve Spagnuolo said that he had to improve on the play calling, and it didn't seem like there were really any adjustments last night, Strolling. It seemed like every time each team got the ball, they were scoring. I'm looking at the breakdown right now, and of course the Raiders scored first, Chiefs, Raiders, Chiefs, Raiders, Chiefs, Raiders, Chiefs, Raiders, and then Chiefs ended up with the last score of the drive. I mean, it seemed like for whatever reason this defense could not seem to stop the Raiders, and I know that you all, I know you, Sterling, you and Steve were kind of taken aback when I said that when the Raiders look in the mirror, they see the Chiefs offense looking right back at them because, again, they got a speedster in Henry Ruggs. Granted, he didn't do anything last night, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Aguilar, of course, they got Jason Witten, but it was more Darren Waller. Of course, the Bell Cow and Josh Jacobs. I mean, again, this is the team, and then they have the best offensive line in football. And I don't want people to be shocked about it, but if you got the best offensive line in football, the one thing you should be able to do is protect Derek Carr. He didn't, no one registered any sacks on him. Granted, Patrick Mahomes didn't get any sacks taken upon him last night, but that could be the reason why. The defensive line couldn't get any pressure on Derek Carr, but to that extent, Steve Spagnuolo should have drawn up some better plays to put his players into position to get after Carr.
But Darren, my thing is, you don't pay Chris Jones and Frank Clark to put up numbers against the New York Jets.
Oh, I'm with you.
I'm with you. Good offensive line. Yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, but that's why I said, are they living up to their contracts? Now you can say, yeah, they led the team to Super Bowl, but what have you done for me lately? Because this year, like you said, I've talked about it with Steve. That's what fears me, and I know Leabo's like, don't overreact, but when you got a defense that's giving up this many points against a high-powered offense, you're putting more pressure on Patrick Mahomes and the offense. Again, if John Gruden and them may have had a different situation where they wasn't, within 5 yards of the goal line, perhaps they would have taken more time off the clock to try to score and leave less time for the Kansas City Chiefs to, to get down there and score. So I mean, I don't know. I'm like you, Sterling, in a way. When I see how this defense plays against the Raiders, and then of course you got the Bucs coming up this Sunday. You have the Saints coming up in a few weeks, and maybe to an extent even the Miami Dolphins. But we also know what the Chargers and Justin Herbert have been doing. I mean, the Chiefs are going to get some high-powered teams, some high-scoring teams that they're going to be facing. And if this defense don't come around, I mean, the Chiefs can easily go from 9-1 to potentially 11-5, which I hate.
Yeah, that could happen. But here's what I'll say about the Raiders. Their offensive line is great. That's fine. They're paying their center a ton of money. That's great every once in a while to maybe stop someone here and there, but that's not going to get you to the Super Bowl. I think we've seen that is a flawed way to do it. Who's playing for the Chiefs on the offensive line? They got an overall number 1 draft pick playing left tackle. Were any of the other guys even drafted in the league? They're just some dudes, right? So the Raiders can have Rodney Hudson and pay him all this money and these guys, but I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr. That's just a philosophical thing there, okay? So I mean, that's just like, I don't think you should be paying big contracts to centers. I don't think that's the smartest way to go about building a championship football team. But I do agree that they got to find a way to scheme this thing up, man. You have to. They have to get better. They 100% have to get better if they want to get to back, run it back, as it were. They did a pretty nice job most of the year, right? They gave up 40 to the Raiders, but then they gave up 30 to the Panthers and then 30 again to the Raiders. And they're going to face some good teams, like you said. I mean, next Sunday will be tough. The Buccaneers they can move the ball on the ground. They got lots of weapons to move the ball through the air. Now, Tom Brady is a little more of a stationary target. It's not like Derek Carr was running around for his life last night either. So they need to find a way to get to Brady and keep it in front of him. But I do know this. There's no defense out there anywhere who's going to make the Chiefs look pedestrian and score like 13 points in a game. So that we could be in some more of these like 30-something kind of shootout games, like some of those games that happened back in 2018, which they didn't win most of those. They lost the thrilling games, right? Yeah. They didn't find a way to get those wins. But I don't think this defense is that bad like that. I just don't think so. I think they've got a better coordinator, and I think they tried some different things. But I am super disappointed. They had a whole, off week to get ready to face the team that had picked them apart on offense before, and they didn't really look a lot better against the Raiders this time around. They didn't look a lot better. I thought they looked a little bit better. And I do think the Chiefs' offensive line did a much better job, yes. And Andy Reid and the offense schemed up a much better plan. That's why maybe it was a bunch of short passes. Mahomes wasn't drifting out of the pocket. He wasn't getting hit. It's pretty easy for him. He didn't run for his life very much last night either. So I think the offense made much better adjustments than the defense did, but that's not shocking because that's the way it's been for ever since Andy Reid got here.
Patrick Mahomes, 34-45, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Sterling, I know you would like this. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 14 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell, 7 of 25 yards, 1 touchdown. Your thoughts and what grades would you give Mahomes as well as your star running backs?
Mahomes got to give an A+. One, the interception, you can say it's miscommunication. It looked like, based on the game Demarcus Robinson had last night, I'm probably going to put the blame more on D-Rob than I am on Mahomes. Mahomes engineered a fantastic come-from-behind victory when he got the ball. We almost all knew, like Leabo said early, ability to stop the clock. You go, okay, this game's probably at least getting tied and probably they're going to win it. So Mahomes, A+. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he had a very good plunge. Looked like he got stopped short and then kept the legs moving for a touchdown. Clyde looked good. This was the first game around the goal line. He really got into the end zone. So you got to give Clyde a good grade here. And then Le'Veon Bell getting his first touchdown, not only as a Chief, but his first touchdown of the year. So Le'Veon Bell getting a little bit more involved, especially down on the goal line.
Chiefs had 10 team penalties for 89 yards. I know a couple of them were personal fouls for at least 15. Well, it would have been 15 yards. I know one of them was against Tyrann Mathieu that was on the goal line area, so it was only a couple of meters, a couple of inches. But Leabo, what does the team need to do to show up those defenses? I mean, show up those penalties. I wanted to ask Andy Reid last night, didn't get a chance to, but I did ask Patrick about it, and he did say that players need to be, they have to be responsible for, for what those penalties that they get, especially those personal fouls, and hopefully, of course, that they don't do it to where it's in a situation where it ends up hurting the team. Your thoughts on how they short up, because that can become an issue next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road.
Yeah, those kind of hothead plays aren't great. I thought that was a little soft on Tyrann last night. It didn't look like he did much. And most of the penalties last night were honestly pass interference type things. And it's just hard in this league, man. They just call them on you. Raiders got them called on them too. And it's just, if you get a crew that's going to call those things, I'm not saying they didn't deserve them, right? But those just happen. I didn't think last night was a really sloppy, messy game as far as the penalties go. They got a hand in the face. It was a 15-yarder, right, on Eric Fisher. Accidental, hand slips up there. They got a 15-yard. Then they get a 15-yard face on Demarcus Robinson just trying to get yards. Those are pretty unusual plays. Those aren't things that happen all the time. So I didn't think last night was a really bad penalty night. I've seen some bad ones, okay, where, let's go Monday Night Meltdown with Derek Thomas, going crazy. This wasn't like one of those things. It wasn't great, but they do need to shore them up. That's for sure. But I didn't think that was a major problem last night. The bigger problem was nobody touched Derek Carr. It would have been great if someone would have gotten a penalty for a late hit on the quarterback, but they couldn't even get there late. I mean, that's how bad it was.
I think the best thing for me would have been had Dan Sorensen actually returned that interception for a pick six last night. That would have.
You just want someone to cover your number, Darren. I know what you're doing. You're in Vegas.
Well, yeah. Look. Shout out to Brad G, the Chiefs director. At least he texted me last night and apologized on the Chiefs' behalf for not covering the spread. So I'll let that slide. Now, I want them to get my money back, but yeah, I'll let that slide. But I do want to get you all thoughts before we go to break. Alex Smith got his first win back as a starter since his gruesome injury a couple of years ago. You all thoughts on that on Alex Smith with his win, the Washington football team over the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday?
Just another amazing part of this comeback, was about a month and a half ago, he played in a game, and we all thought that was crazy, right? And then he started the game and almost won. We all thought that was crazy, and now he actually won a game. It's an incredible story. I don't know how much football this guy wants to play, but the fact that he came back and has done what he's done, I mean, maybe named the comeback player of the year after him. I was talking to Jeff Chadilla earlier this week on the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810, and he said they kind of did some midseason awards, and a lot of people were like, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be the comeback player of the year because he was hurt last year and all that stuff. But dude, this Alex Smith story is incredible. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. He should be the comeback player of the year in the National Football League if he doesn't do anything else this year, just for getting out there and participating in an NFL game after what he went through.
And look, and to that point, Sterling, look, he passed for a touchdown, interception, and look, he got sacked twice. So, one, he's not afraid to get hit, knowing just how closely his career could have ended. So obviously, I'm not going to go to the extent of naming him comeback player of the year because again, Ben Roethlisberger has played the entire season thus far and has led his team to a 10-0 record. But if there was anybody who could fight for second place, I'd say be between Alex Smith and maybe Cam Newton. But your thoughts on that, Sterling, before we go to break?
I mean, literally, Alex Smith had the potential to die. I mean, Alex Smith deserves comeback player of the year. It's not MVP. We're not talking about Pro Bowl. We're talking about comeback. What's the best comeback story? It has to be Alex Smith. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger's had a great season. The Steelers are looking extremely good. And probably any other year, Ben Roethlisberger probably is getting comeback player of the year, but it doesn't matter. Alex Smith deserves this. It's not for MVP. It's for comeback. And this is the best comeback story in maybe NFL history. So in my opinion, Alex Smith deserves this. It's amazing to see what he's done. Great human being. And it's just another milestone, him getting this win. And, who knows how the season plays out, how it progresses. But I love seeing him under center right now. And his first game back, he got sacked 5 times by Aaron Donald. If you can get sacked 5 times by that man, I mean, I think he put that behind him.
All right, Sterling. Okay, look, you won over. So you talked about this man on the deathbed potentially. Okay, I'll give him comeback player of the year. So we all got him as comeback player of the year. Look, when we come back though, I do want to talk about the rest of the slate of Sunday games. Kind of look at that over, and then look at the playoff scenarios as where we stand today, and then of course we'll preview tonight's game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, you can hear that game over on our sister station, Sports Radio 810 WHB, another shameless plug like Todd Leabo did. Keep it locked in. We'll be right back after this timeout. It's Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City Radio.
When do you think about your insurance? Chances are it's when you're paying your bill or filing a claim. At Briar Payne Mead, we always think about your insurance. It's what we do. Buying a car, having a baby, building a home, starting a business. Then it's time to call BPM at 913-681-099 or visit us on the web at bpminsurance.com. Great service and extremely competitive rates from the top-rated companies. Briar Payne Mead, 913-681-099. That's 913-681-099.
Hi, I'm Jordan, president of Digital Lagoon, a web and design agency. This year, I'm proud to be celebrating 25 years in business. Here at Digital Lagoon, we can provide you with a strategic digital marketing strategy. With the implementation of social media, SEO, and online advertising, these programs are proven to improve your website traffic. Let us collaborate with you to structure a plan and cut through the digital noise. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
SelectQuote is hiring advisors in Kansas City. I'm Joel Clark, a SelectQuote advisor for the last 17 years. We have great training compensation, no cold calling, you can work from home, and it's a fun environment. Some of our SelectQuote top earners have had no sales experience and have made over $200,000 annually. Openings are limited and are going fast, so give us a call at 1-833-HIRING-1. That is 1-833-447-4641, or check us out online at SelectQuoteCareer.com.
Did you know on average, people only review their insurance plans once every 4 years? Hi, this is Corey Schnabel, owner of Casey Insurance Group. Call Casey Insurance Group today at 913-396-6320 for a no-obligation review of your current policy. If your current policy is the best fit for you, we'll tell you. If not, we'll save you some money with a tailored proposal from one of the best carriers in Kansas City. It's truly a win-win. Casey Insurance Group voted 2019's best agency by Pitch Magazine. 913-396-6320 or visit us online at caseyinsured.com.
You can keep your grass green and lush all year long with a new sprinkler system from Summit Lawn and Landscape. Call Summit Lawn and Landscape today at 816-966-9434 to design a water-efficient system for your home and never drag a hose again. 816-966-9434. Summit Lawn and Landscape provides complete lawn maintenance, including mowing, fertilization, and landscape installation, maintenance, and design. Call 816-966-9434 or go to summitlawn.com.
At Central Bank of the Midwest, we are focused on building strong communities across Kansas City. I'm Bill Ferguson, President and CEO. Our strong roots began more than 100 years ago in the heart of the Midwest and continue today across 5 states and 67 communities. Central Bank of the Midwest brings you the best of both worlds, a strong community bank with the resources and technology to deliver a legendary banking experience. Central Bank of the Midwest, strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We are back here on Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City Radio, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. With us, of course, Sterling Holmes, vacation down on his own private island in the state of Florida. And, of course, Todd Leabo, Sports Radio 810, WHB Sports Director. Gentlemen, we talked a little bit about the Cincinnati Bengals, of course, and the Washington football team. In that game yesterday, rookie sensation Joe Burrows suffered, obviously, what looks to be, well, it is a season-ending injury. He was diagnosed with a torn ACL, MCL, and suffered other structural issues in his left knee. And this happened in the third quarter yesterday during the team's 20-9 loss in Washington. Now, obviously, just the ACL injury alone is generally a 1-year 1-year rehab. But Leabo, you got anything more on this? Like how long do you think he's expected to be out? I mean, is this a situation where he may not come back until his third season? If Leabo's not there, then Sterling, I'll pose that to you.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm here.
I am here. I'm here. Juan Thornhill got an ACL in the last game of the year last year and was back ready this time. But will Joe Burrow be available to go to any mini camps? Probably not. It's going to be a little bit. And remember the last couple of weeks how I was trying to tell you that Pittsburgh's going to lose a game because maybe Cincinnati will pick them off? That's over. All right, that's done. Cincinnati is not. They're not picking Pittsburgh off. We're running out of teams who might beat Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh, if they go 16-0, it's like the lamest 16-0 ever. There's only been one of those 16-0, but they do not look elite like that. They're playing the Colts later, right? The Colts are salty, right? They can step up and beat you. They beat the Packers yesterday. They can do that.
Yeah.
But we were kind of holding out hope. It's like Thanksgiving. We get this little late night treat. The Ravens eat them. Do you guys think the Ravens have anything for Pittsburgh?
Not after yesterday.
I don't. No. I mean, maybe. Gosh, I mean, it's like, it's a really good rivalry, right? It's kind of a 50-50 rivalry between Harbaugh and Tomlin, those guys. But I don't feel like the Ravens are going to take anything to Pittsburgh. So that's really what I'm selfish. Too bad for Joe Burrow, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, who's going to beat the Steelers? Because I was hoping he was going to be in like week 15 or 16, have this little save the season, win a game moment. But I'm running out of teams that I think can beat Pittsburgh on their schedule.
Now, Sterling, I got to tell you before I toss it back to you now, I'm really getting upset because you all are really like looking at my notes. I'm showing people online like these are notes that I have written down that I have not shared with you. And of course, Leabo goes straight to Titans and Ravens. I was going to get to that in just a second, but since he decided to go there, Sterling, Titans, Titans, Ravens, of course, that's just looking back at yesterday's game. Going into the game, both teams were going in the wrong direction. They were both losing and stuff like that. So someone had to win unless they were going to have a Cleveland, unless they were going to have a tie. But to that effect, when you look at the Ravens, they're obviously going in the wrong direction. They're 6-4. I think they lost 2 or 3 games in a row right now, and of course they got the Thursday night Thanksgiving matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now look, everybody knows I had Kansas City going 19-0, 16-0, at a minimum in the regular season. Again, to Leabo's point, if they run the table, if they run the table, I'm not even sure Patrick Mahomes can beat that for the MVP season. But of course, Mike Tomlin should be far and away the coach of the year thus far, especially with what they did last year and coming back this year, doing what they're doing thus far. Can anyone knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers, starting with the Ravens this Thursday night, Sterling?
I definitely think that Pittsburgh Steelers can be knocked off. They've played in so many close games that it's bound to happen eventually. The defense is very good. We all know this. Just to me, though, they just don't feel like that elite team. I would still have Kansas City above the Steelers right now. I don't think it's the Ravens, though. The Ravens don't look good. Lamar Jackson is struggling to throw the football, which we knew could be a problem, but he's almost regressed. We don't expect him to progress after last year. He actually looked very good last year, but this year anything outside the numbers, he's struggling. He's not going deep. Teams are in his head. I mean, if he's worried more about what defenses, if they can understand what the play call is, he's not out there looking to make big plays. He's looking there to not make mistakes, and that's a problem. I would say the Steelers beat the Ravens, but I don't think the Steelers go 16-0. They just don't seem like they're that good to me.
What are you going to go to Buffalo in a couple of weeks? Buffalo's in the spot, right? I mean, Buffalo's someone who can beat them, and it's going to be on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no fans up there, but they got Buffalo. And they're home against the Colts. Like I said, the Colts came to Arrowhead last year and won a game, okay? And the Colts beat the Packers yesterday. Phillip Rivers is Phillip Rivers. He'll make mistakes or whatever. But I don't hold out. I mean, they're going to play Washington after the Ravens. Washington is not beating them. They're going to go to Cincinnati. I don't know who's the quarterback now for Cincinnati, but they ain't going to beat them. And they're going to the Browns at the end. The Browns can't beat anybody who's any good. They beat all the crappy teams. But Steelers do not qualify as a crappy team. So the Browns ain't beating them.
14-2. Steelers go 14-2.
Who
Well, I
they lose
wish
to?
2 losses, Sterling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you,
Bills.
but where they
Bills.
at?
I'm going Bills. I'm going Bills,
I
and I'm going to
should've
go
known that.
Colts.
Should have known that. Yeah.
Bills and
Bills
Colts.
and
You know, I've been on the Bills train for 2 years now, Darren. You know, I'm taking the Bills in almost every single game against who they're going to play. The only team I don't pick the Bills against is probably Kansas City. This Bills team, I think, is very good.
Hold
I think they're about
on.
to Pittsburgh.
For the sake of clarity, you were picking the Bills to beat Kansas City earlier this year. That was one of Kansas City's losses.
Preseason.
But you picked them to beat Kansas City. At least I was the only one that had the Chiefs going undefeated. Okay, so I stand by. I said
13-3, Darren. I said
Sounds to me like you're
13-3.
both wrong. I don't know.
Hold on, Leabo. Nobody was talking to you just then.
I said 13-3, boys.
Anyway, look, Packers Colts. That game yesterday. Were you all surprised by the fact that Aaron Rodgers couldn't score in the second half of the game, and then of course them losing in overtime? Look, I had the game scoring over 51 points. I had the Packers with the points, but of course hell. Even that lost out due to the overtime stuff.
Did you win any bets, Darren? All I'm hearing is losing bets. Did you win any bets?
Hold on. I did. Hey, watch your mouth, Sterling. Look, I was literally I bet $1.50 on a few parlays on Saturday night, and I literally had everything won, but I had the right team losing, but I had them with the points versus going with like USC. I think it was USC Utah that I lost out on that caused me to lose $4,000 off of a $1.50 bet. I had all the other parlays.
Well, so you only lost $1.50.
Hey man, look,
you didn't lose $4,000.
Well, yeah, that, but let's just say.
Did you bet on my Sooners at all?
Yes. Oh, yes, I did. I bet on them, and they won and they covered. So,
that's right.
Yeah, they covered, and the total points was
you
under
didn't bet
60
on Rudy's Kentucky Wildcats, did you? Because there wasn't enough points in the world for Rudy's Kentucky Wildcats to hang with Alabama. I don't know.
No, but I did bet on Alabama straight up, so that was just that was something easy. That's what you do.
Smart move.
But I will say I did take an L last night with the Chiefs, which is why like I said, I posted on Twitter last night that Tyrann Matthews is no longer the rent collector. That's going to be me, because when I see him, I'm collecting my rent from him off that game last night, because they cost me some money last night in Vegas. But all that being said, though, Cowboys-Vikings, I don't know. I was surprised. I had the Vikings winning that game. I had no idea that the Cowboys decided they wanted to show up and play after losing 4 games in a row. Mentioned to Sterling before we came on the air, Leabo, that now because the Cowboys won on Sunday, it makes Thursday watching football a little bit more enjoyable, for folks across America.
Yeah, I think you're right. And there'll be some intrigue, right? They're playing Washington. Yeah. I mean that's the story there. That's intriguing for sure. The first game, I don't need to watch the Lions play, but we got Kansas basketball on. You can watch the Jayhawks and Gonzaga during that game. But yeah, Dallas has shown me something. They've shown me something. I thought they'd roll away and die, and they're showing me some fight that I didn't know they had in them. So that's good for Mike McCarthy, and that's good for Andy Dalton to come back in and kind of give them a little more life yesterday. And it would have been really nice if they found a way to beat Pittsburgh, but they didn't. But yeah, they showed me a little something yesterday. They kept fighting, they kept going, and that's good for them. I mean, because that division, everyone's still in the playoff hunt, right?
Yeah,
that's how that works.
Yeah, everyone is 3-7 except for Sterling's Philadelphia Eagles, who are actually leading the division with 3-6-1.
Got that tie, see?
Yeah,
tie is better than a loss.
Sterling, how you feel about your Eagles right now, even after their loss against the Cleveland Browns on yesterday?
I mean, that division is so bad. I was joking. I said 6 wins may win that division. They may be 5 wins now. And they're going to host a home game. So
they get to play each other, so someone's going to have to win some games, right? There's still some of those games left.
I get that, but it's going to end up being like a split. It's going to be brutal to watch. But I'm with you guys. At least Thanksgiving will be fun. Dallas looked competent. Andy Dalton threw 3 touchdowns. The fact that he was able to throw the ball at all allowed Ezekiel Elliott to at least get something going to go over 45 yards rushing. I am surprised, though, because the Vikings looked decent. They were on a little hot streak, and I thought they were actually at decent chance to keep it going and make the playoffs. I mean, I thought they have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Bears, but, Kirk Cousins does what Kirk Cousins does. He gives you hope and then takes it away. It is what it is. It's a bad division. The NFC East is a bad division. I can't remember ever seeing a division from top to bottom this bad.
Yeah, it's not good at all. They're not good, but someone's going to get to be a champion. That's how it works, right? And they'll be in the playoffs. And usually how it works is whoever the bad team that makes it ends up beating somebody. We've seen that happen before.
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah. And didn't the Panthers do it too? I think there was another one of those teams that had a really bad record, and they ended up finding a way to get a win somewhere. But yeah, they're not good. The division's not good. And people are feasting on them. But it is kind of weird to sit there and see them all sitting at 3 and whatever. In the Eagles' case, that's why that tie was so huge for them. I was looking up some stats the other day, guys, and this is a weird little off topic. But, Carson Wentz, he's a turnover machine, right? That's what he does. He turns the ball over. He throws interceptions. He fumbles. He does all those things. He had thrown, going into yesterday's game, 25 interceptable passes, according to these, places that track those things. And only half of them had been picked. Imagine if, most of them got picked. He'd have, 18 or 19 picks already. It'd be freaking crazy. So it's just, I know I'm not making fun of Sterling's team. He loves his Eagles. But he has got to straighten that up, because I don't know how long you're going to stick around with the guy who's just going to sit there and throw interceptions at that rate and turn the ball over.
Well, here's the thing, because of his contract, and I'm not sure if I remember correctly, his extension doesn't start till after this season. I think this is his 5th-year contract year, and I think his extension would start next year. So I don't know whether or not they can actually get out from underneath it just yet. But to that point, look, really, Carson Wentz is no better than Jameis Winston is right now, I'd say. Than what he did last year, 35 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Because, you call him a turnover machine and interceptable passes and what he's actually had intercepted. But I think he's got more turnovers than any quarterback in the league right now, if I'm not mistaken.
And they're costly too. Yesterday was a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Just killers.
Sterling,
it's no surprise to me. To me though, I still think that the one thing I'll say is he was once in the MVP running. He is throwing to literally mostly practice squad guys. And for a while, his best wide receiver was a quarterback turned wide receiver. So, I don't know if you cut him some slack, but he's not had a lot of stuff going right for him, especially the past couple seasons.
Well, and to that point, still, I do want to ask you, Leabo, should we be cutting Doug Peterson any slack, or should we be putting him on the hot seat, even though he won a Super Bowl title?
Well, he's probably on the hot seat in Philadelphia. He won a Super Bowl, but Philadelphia, man. Andy Reid went to 5 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl and won more games than anybody up there. He got on the hot seat. He went 4 and whatever or 5 and whatever, and he got fired. He'd been there long enough. So I don't know how long the leash is with Doug Peterson, but it's Philadelphia. They're uneasy up there.
Who lasts longer, Doug Peterson or Matt Nagy?
Oh, they're both in the hot seat.
Well, hold
they're
on.
both in the hot seat, but and Nagy's 5-5, right? But they're a paper 5-5.
Yeah.
And Philly's a legit 3-6-1 though. I think that's legit.
Hold on. What about Matt Patricia?
One won a Super Bowl and one won Coach of the Year, and they both may get fired.
Yeah, and hold on. And here's the crazy thing about it: Matt Nagy might have a chance to come back to Kansas City as an offensive coordinator next year. Because we
maybe so. Hey, come on back to when EB gets a job, he can come on back.
No.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't want Nagy. Look, we've seen the play calling that he's done with Trubisky. We don't want him back here. He had his chance. No. I'd rather EB just stay for another year if that's the case. Now, look, I do want to get you all's quick thoughts on Taysom Hill yesterday, starting for the New Orleans Saints. He led them to a win over the Atlanta Falcons. Look, the game started slow. I think they were leading 9-3 before they kind of broke out. But your thoughts on his performance and whether or not Sean Payton, made the right decision in having him as a starter over Jameis?
No, they won the game, so it's the right call. He was very efficient, right? Didn't throw any touchdowns, but he ran for a couple like he kind of generally does. It's a different way to play football, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to have a quarterback play the style that Taysom Hill does for 16 games because I think that's a recipe to get hurt, with planned runs as much as he runs it in the National Football League. But the thing that impresses me probably the most about the Saints is the side of the football that people don't talk about with the Saints, right? The Falcons have a pretty salty offense. They're known for their defense not being very good, but the Falcons managed to score 9 points, right? Yeah. And they held the Niners to 13. They held Tampa to 3 the week before that. So this is the team the Chiefs will play later. So the Saints defense is playing at a pretty high level right now, and that's something you have to consider when they were a little bit like the Chiefs a couple of years ago. They played a lot of those up and down crazy games, and their defense looks a little more physical now and a little bit better. And as of late, they're playing much better. That game where they killed Tampa, it wasn't like they forced 6 interceptions in the first half. They just 3-and-outed Tampa straight in their face on their, home field for the whole first half of the game. Ended up winning that game going away. So that's what my bigger concern is. I don't know what the status of Drew Brees is going to be by the time they get to the Chiefs game because it's still a ways away. But that defense looks like they're pretty good right now, going the right way.
Well, and Darren, really quickly, what I want to say is this is exactly what I said is Taysom Hill is going to look good for a couple games. It'll work for 2 games, maybe 3 games. Teams will figure it out eventually, but it's always happens. You do something new in the NFL. It takes a week to 3 weeks for teams to react, and then all of a sudden you can stop it. Well, it worked this week. And I do want to agree with Leabo. The defense of the Saints is outstanding. They're one of the most complete teams in the NFL when Drew Brees is healthy. But I do want to say Taysom Hill's arm was a lot better than I think most people expected. He had a 45-yard pass to Emmanuel Sanders. Michael Thomas went over 100 yards for the first time this year. I mean, it's not like Taysom Hill was just running the football. He had some good throws that made you go, okay, maybe there is a little something here that we were not known to because Sean Payton kind of hit it. So I do want to say Taysom Hill looked a lot better than I expected.
All right, let's take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll get Leabo's picks on the Thanksgiving games, and, of course, we'll see who he's picking in the big fight this weekend. You're listening to Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City.
A KC tradition since 1957, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef, which has been proven to be naturally more tender and flavorful than other brands. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. This process provides a wonderful aroma and delicious flavor that cannot be duplicated by any other cooking method. Hereford House, Leawood, Independence, Shawnee, and Zona Rosa.
In these trying times, Kansas City Credit Union knows how important cash flow is in your household. With rates near all-time lows, now's the time to take action. Free up some cash by lowering your monthly car loan payment when you refinance your auto loan with Kansas City Credit Union. And as a bonus, Kansas City Credit Union will delay your payments for 90 days. Visit kansascitycreditunion.com/810sports for more information. Kansas City Credit Union, your path to financial freedom.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission to save the Earth because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here from my friends at K&L Precision Painting. I've been working on a project with Matt from K&L Precision Painting, and I couldn't be happier with the process. They're a locally owned interior and exterior painting company. You can call or text K&L Precision Painting at 913-938-4420. That's 913-938-4420. Or visit them online at klpaintingkc.com.
K&L Precision Painting. Looks so good, you'll be fainting.
When you think about your insurance, chances are it's when you're paying your bill or filing a claim. At Briar Payne Mead, we always think about your insurance. It's what we do. Buying a car, having a baby, building a home, starting a business. Then it's time to call BPM at 913-681-099 or visit us on the web at bpminsurance.com. Great service and extremely competitive rates from the top-rated companies. Briar Payne Mead, 913-681-099. That's 913-681-099.
Hi, I'm Jordan, president of Digital Lagoon, a web and design agency. This year, I'm proud to be celebrating 25 years in business. Here at Digital Lagoon, we can provide you with a strategic digital marketing strategy. With the implementation of social media, SEO, and online advertising, these programs are proven to improve your website traffic. Let us collaborate with you to structure a plan and cut through the digital noise. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM, 1510.com, and of course, social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, all that. And then some. We're joined, of course, by the vacationing Sterling Holmes, who will be back in studio on Monday once he returns from his private island on Saturday. And, of course, we're joined each and every day after the Chiefs for a victory lap around around the stadiums with Mr. Todd Leabo. Leabo,
hey, Darren, before we move on too quickly, we haven't asked about the music. Rudy's playing the music. That song last break, 2 breaks ago, was the Beastie Boys.
It was,
and then the one we just played was Fat Boy Slim, the Rockefeller Gang. So there you go.
In fairness, to Rudy, I plugged those in there to the system before I left. The real ones I have for you, Leabo, when I get back are good though. I got some ones that may stump you.
I know I'm stumpable, but there you go, Fat Boy Slim.
Leabo, so look, before we get to the Thanksgiving game, I got to get your thoughts on the big fight this Saturday, and I got to know who you going with, Roy Jones Jr. or Mike Tyson?
Gosh, I don't even know what to think about this, man. We got a 50-something-year-old and a 50-something-year-old. I mean, I would say this. I would say that Mike Tyson always fought at a heavier weight class than Roy Jones did, right?
Yeah.
Roy Jones was incredible, an incredible boxer. Sometimes his fights got a little boring because it was a lot of just,
Floyd Mayweather.
It wasn't brawling. Yes, it's a lot of defense and a lot of just winning on scoring. So let's go old school and say Iron Mike, man. Some brawl. Now, I don't know how much he's got in him. They better go all out because they're not going to go too long because they're going to get tired quick.
Well, the thing that works in his favor, Sterling, is the fact that the round's only going to be 2 minutes, and from what I've been told, they are not testing for weed. So that's something that because Mike,
good.
Mike is in that
all
business.
Good on all fronts for those guys.
Yeah. So Sterling, who you got in this? Who you got in this matchup?
I got Mike smoking a bowl of Tyson, baby. I got him.
All right. Well, I'm going with Mike.
Dude,
Tyson.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. Growing up, people of my age, when Mike Tyson broke on the scene, when I was
scary.
like 16, 17 years old, and he broke onto the scene, it was as thrilling as anything in boxing. We haven't had anything like that happen in boxing since then, because these guys like Mayweather are fun, but there's nothing like having an American heavyweight who is just destroying people. It was thrilling to pay that money for those pay-per-views, man. I'll tell you that.
And here's the thing, Leabo, I think he broke on the scene when I was 7 years old. So I was watching his fights on USA and HBO, and then of course when they got to be pay-per-view, I was there at home. I think I was a freshman in high school. No, I wasn't. I was 12 years old because that's when he lost to Buster Douglas. I was in middle school, 6th grade, when he lost to Buster Douglas. And I sat there watching the fight.
I was in college
on HBO.
I was in college, and we did not have HBO. See, I didn't have HBO in college. I didn't have that kind of money, right? But this girl who we knew who lived in the apartment complex that we lived in, my buddy Lance and I, she had HBO, and she was out of town. She said, "You guys can come watch the fight at my house." So we watched that fight in someone's apartment. They weren't even there. Could not believe he lost to Buster Douglas. I mean, I'll never forget that. That's how cool boxing was back then, for sure. So this would be, I guess, fun to see him go at it again, but I don't know.
Well, and here's the thing, though. That, and people talk about that is probably, people used to talk about the 1980 Olympics with the semifinals where USA beat Russia. But literally in the history of sport, that is probably the biggest upset of all time. And I can't lie, Leabo, when I watched that fight, I cried. I couldn't believe because at that time the myth was Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet. Like you couldn't picture this guy getting knocked out. And the fact leading up to the 10th round that he was getting hit, he was like, hold on, man, Mike ain't supposed to get hit like
what
that.
What is happening?
Yeah,
and he knocked Douglas down at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still fighting until the end. It was what a fight, though, man! Crazy fight.
Leabo, Thursday's games. Well, hold on. Who do you all have tonight? Rams, Buccaneers.
I'm going to go Bucs, I guess.
Really?
Although I think the Rams are playing pretty well right now.
Okay, so you're going with the Bucs, but the Rams are playing well. Okay, that's the way to strap.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs are home. I mean, if you made me bet, Bucs are a 4-point favorite. I wouldn't bet them. I would stay away from this game, but I think they'll win the game.
Yeah, the real thing that scares me about this game is the simple fact that the Rams can get after Tom Brady with just 4, and that's the thing that Brady can't seem to play well against is against teams that can get that pressure on them. So, I got the Bucs because I had already picked them. But it would not surprise me one bit to see to see the Rams knock them off. Sterling, who you got?
Yeah, I got the Rams. I'm with you there. I think Aaron Donald will be too much for the offensive line. Tom Brady's a statue. He's not going anywhere. I like this Rams defense. I think Jared Goff will do just enough. He's got a lot of weapons, so I'm going to go with the Rams in this game.
All right, Leabo, Thursday games, Texans, Lions, who you got?
Texas impressed me this week with their win over New England. I think they got a little fight left in them. So I don't even think it's an upset. I think they're actually favored, but it's an upset maybe to go on the road when you've only won 3 games and win. But give me the Texans in this one. Give me some Deshaun Watson.
All right, so we got less than a minute left. So Sterling, we'll talk about it on Wednesday. But Leabo, Cowboys, Washington, who wins?
I'll go Cowboys. And I'll go Steelers in those last 2 games.
Smart man. Gentlemen, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Sterling, Leabo, happy Thanksgiving to you this week. We'll do this again next week. And I want to thank everyone once again for tuning in to the Darren and Sterling Show here on ESPN Kansas City. We'll be back tomorrow. Please wear your mask, stay safe, and social distance. And make sure that you join me later on tonight at 6:30 for the Red Hour with myself, Steve Walls, Sean Tyler, and DJ Q via your social media platform. Until then, take care. Have a blessed day.